keep up with your customers by going headless with Contentful. So, Rouven from Contentful is going to explain to you exactly how you can keep up with your customers and do really cool things in the headless space with Contentful. Having used Contentful myself, I can only imagine how cool this talk is going to be. Have fun and buckle up.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me for my session, Keep Up with Your Customers by Going Headless with Contentful. My name is Rouven. I'm a Director of Technology Partnerships, responsible for EMEA at Contentful, the leading headless content management platform. And today I want to tell you a little bit about our product and what we do for our customers and how we work together with Vue Storefront. Quick agenda. What I'm going to cover is I'm going to give a quick introduction to the market context in which we operate. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Contentful. I'm going to show you a short demo of how Contentful works, and then we're going to have some time for Q&A. All right. Today, this is the digital first era. And this has been massively accelerated by COVID, of course, and I'm sure you're all familiar with it. But today's customers expect to be online, expect to have you available online, be able to interact with you online. And online just doesn't mean a website anymore. It means many different touch points. It can mean a tablet, it can mean a phone, it can mean a TV experience, it can be in a very different context, it can be through a video chat, it can be through a chatbot, an Alexa voice skill. There's a variety of different ways in which a customer might want to interact with you, your company, your products, your services. And there's an expectation that you meet them where they are. And this is the challenge of this area. You have companies that came up in this that are absolutely digital at first. In the mattress world, for example, Casper is an excellent example, or Dollar Shave Club. These are companies that were born digital, who have this as their native mode of running. And you also have digital distributors, companies that don't really have a physical manifestation so much, but who are really the gatekeepers to distributing products or information digitally. Amazon, Google, Facebook, but even somebody like Snapchat or a little bit newer TikTok for this category. And then you have the hybrid experiences. These are companies that have been around for a while, Technology, for example, but who see the calling of the time and decide to invest massively into going digital to meet their customers, not just in the physical world, but also in the digital world. And this is a generational shift. And not every brand is able to make this jump. This is one of these big jumps where some companies will make it and will survive, and other companies will unfortunately not make it and will be replaced by somebody new who was able to make that shift or who can just innovate from the ground up. And here's some great examples of this. IKEA, massive digital shift. There is no more catalog. Gucci has invested a ton of money into going more digital. ING has been from the beginning very focused on going more digital, having digital services. And then you have other vendors who just didn't get there in time and who are being left behind. And this has been massively accelerated in the past 14 months. If you didn't already have a digital strategy going into 2020, you probably got one pretty quickly the first few months into 2020, and you had to act on this because there is no other opportunity anymore for many, many different types of businesses to interact with their customers. So this is a crucial inflection point into most businesses. And as a leading brand with an established customer base, you need to rethink what this means. And I don't just mean how do I sell my things to my customers. This goes far beyond selling. This also goes about how does a customer stay engaged with my brand? How do they get support? How do they get services? How do they stay involved into what I'm doing? How do I encourage them to post a picture of my sneaker on Instagram? And this actually often goes now at the expense of the physical retail locations. Instead of investing more into store, Nike closed stores and invested the money instead directly into direct-to-consumer business, cut out the middleman, and is directly marketing to the customers online. And the difference is making digital a core competency. And obviously I'm working for a software vendor, so I cannot tell you this is all about buying the right kind of software and then you're gonna make it and this is the key to do it. That would be naive and wrong. Yes, software is important and software is gonna play a crucial role into getting there, but equally important is having people and processes in place that can take you on this digital shift. The people that exhibit the right approach, that have the right skill set, and the processes that allow these people to work to their full potential. And that what you had before probably is not the stuff you're gonna need now. And some examples is like, in terms of people, if you don't have an in-house team to at the very least coordinate your digital experience holistically, that's gonna be a problem. If you have an in-house dev team, empower it to actually create stuff. If you have a core agency partner that you always work, that's great. If you have a different agency for every contract every 6 months, it's probably going to be not so great. So with the processes, if you have these teams completely siloed and not talking to each other, you're not going to get the full potential out of these people. And lastly, if your software harms the processes, if you have content siloed into different systems, if you have different storefront systems, if you have different product catalogs, if all these systems are siloed, then it doesn't help you that much that the processes get improved and the people don't work in silos anymore because their work still ends up in a silo. So you always have to think about these three things: people, process, and tech. You can invest in one and get some results, but to get the best results, you will have to invest in all three. So what do I want? I want people with the right ethos. I want processes, a playbook that gets me these people to the best power. And I want to get the right tools to empower these people. And when we talk about the people, and I want to stress this because this is very dear to my heart, the thing that is at the core of it is the builder ethos. And this doesn't mean coding. Just to be clear on this, building does not just mean writing code. Yes, those are builders too, but it's creation. Creating a compelling customer experience. That can be the copywriter that creates the content that the user is seeing. That is the designer, the media designer who creates the images the user is seeing. It's also the campaign planner that actually works out what the campaign is. In the end, you're always crafting a customer experience. And for that, you want to empower people that think like a builder, that want to create these compelling experiences. And in the end, it doesn't matter how they create it, it's just that they think about the customer first. So after this, a little bit of context. Hi, we're Contentful. In this case, I'm Contentful, speaking for Contentful. We help digital teams assemble content and deliver experiences faster. So a little bit segue from the people and the process, assuming you have the right people and you're assuming you've structured your processes to empower them, what are some of the technologies you want to look at to empower these people to build the right things? And we think it's important to choose builder-centric, API-driven platforms. An open cloud platform that empowers your team will be the approach that's going to win you for you. And one example I just want to give for this is Alpro. Alpro, oat milk, and other milk dairy products. Alpro needed a new website to reflect their rebrand across 32 markets. So it's a massive workload. There's a massive amount of different pages, site translations. So their use case is really global marketing and then localization on top of that. Alpro worked with one of our partners, Appnovation, and they had Alpro launch a new website 1.5 times faster, which in case of Alpro means they managed to launch a new website in less than 6 months. They saw increased site traffic, they saw more repeat visitors, and they saw more engagement in each visit by these visitors. So in all key metrics for engagement that they measured, they saw a significant increase with this redesign. And they got the redesign faster done than ever before. Plus, they now have the ability to easily scale and reuse content across all of these 32 markets and maintaining a consistent brand identity, because content is no longer siloed. So how do we do this? Well, to help these digital teams, we have a variety of building blocks. At the foundation is our cloud infrastructure that scales up all the way to Black Friday traffic or all the way down to a weekend when nobody's buying anything, perhaps, maybe the weekend after Thanksgiving. On top of that, we have our content spaces. These are the units for the content that give you governance and the team the autonomy to work in the space. We have a variety of tooling and APIs that allow you to automate this, to take away the friction from your content operations. And then we have our app framework to extend the platform itself and bring features into the platform that we maybe haven't considered because they're very unique to your business. And lastly, we have apps built on top of the app framework that are built by our partners to provide you integrations and services out of the box. And a key concept here is that a page is not content. A page is the context in which content appears. And if you talk to other Contentful people, this concept is what you're going to hear every single time, because it's very important. If you come from a legacy content management platform, they think in pages, and everything is a page. Everything is made for the web. And this is not the thinking that's going to let you scale to different platforms and to different markets. What's very important to think about is what is the actual essence of my content and what is just the context surrounding it. And what we consider the most important part is the content. Well, it's not more important, but it's the one we focus on. Because we focus on the content creators and enable them to work within Contentful and allow other teams to consume that content, put it in the right context, to then present it to the user. So some examples, there's reusable content, for example, charts, information, statistics, a song, maybe with references to Spotify or Apple Music, an artist profile, the biography of an artist, then the albums of that artist. And then you have relationships between these. A song is made by an artist, it's part of an album, it has the position in the chart. And all of these information, you can then reassemble into different pages. So in this case, if you're a music label, for example, you would maybe feature an artist, but you would show off their albums. Maybe you would feature an album. You want to show off the artist and the other collaborating artists. And this is how you can reuse content across a variety of pages. And some of it, you don't have to localize manually because the information, the tracks on an album are always the same. The songs are the same. So you just create it once and you get to reuse it across different markets. You just localize the things that are actually different in a language or in a region. For example, the artist biography. So all of this is what we call content modeling. It's finding the structure of your content. The old way, one page for everything. The new way that we believe in is modular blocks of content. Take apart your content and find the reusable pieces of content and make them independent. Why? Because you have many different pages and you want to reuse content to reduce maintenance burden and increase efficiency. And the other thing is almost like a side benefit, a key side benefit, is you get to reuse your content in different contexts and change the presentation mode. We've run content all the way from Apple Watches to Times Square billboards with the same platform. And you can reuse content across these platforms. And they don't have to be a visual platform. We have Alexa voice skills, for example. We have museum audio guides. Content can be anything. And you can reuse it in a variety of places. The other benefit is you get to be the master in choosing what technology you want to use. You're free to empower different teams to use the technologies they're familiar in and let them be as productive as they can be with those technologies. As you work with Contentful, one thing is going to be apparent very quickly. Contentful is not an island. Contentful sits at the center of a vast ecosystem. And to get something off the ground, you will not just work with us, but will work with many of our partners, like Vue Storefront. Contentful is purely a headless system, meaning we store the content, we have the editing experience for content, but we never deliver the content directly to the end user. there's always going to be a presentation layer in between, and Vue Storefront is exactly this presentation layer. And there's many other services that interact with Contentful. For example, Cloudinary. You might want to host your assets in a different DAM and have them managed there, and then integrate them with Contentful and have your front end render content from there. Or search, if you want to have a site search. This might be an external vendor. Your e-commerce experience itself, we're not a shopping cart, so you're going to have an e-commerce vendor, and so on and so on. So this is very important. We're not a suite. We're not the whole package. We don't want to be the whole package. We do one thing very well, and that is manage content. For everything else, you can choose the best vendor for your use case, integrate them with Contentful, integrate them with your front-end platform, and then you bring this to market. And if a vendor doesn't serve your needs, you can always replace just this one piece of functionality with one that better suits the changing market without having to rip and replace the entire stack. So I already mentioned we're working with Vue Storefront, and I'm very excited about this. Bringing content to your Vue Storefront powered e-commerce experience, and you get to benefit from the combined Vue Storefront and Contentful ecosystem. I already mentioned Cloudinary and Algolia as mutual partners for both of us, as well as commerce tools and Uniform. With seamless integrations in both your content management and your presentation layer, it's really easy to bring these capabilities to your experience, to your customer experience, without having to do custom development from scratch for everything. That is really powerful. And with that, I want to give you a really brief demo of what the editing experience in Contentful looks like. To do so, I would like to introduce you to Colorful Coin. This is our demo brand. It's an online bank that has a variety of content needs to promote their banking products. So, for example, they have 3 products here: Classic, Black, and Corporate. There's pricing available. There's some content marketing in the blog. I just want to take a look at one of these products right now. In this case, it's the Classic product. And you can see it's a fairly typical landing page for a promotion of a product. You have some features called out. You have some value propositions called out. You have a quote of a review here, the steps how to buy this, and a direction, a call to action to go to a different product if it's not the right product for you. So just to illustrate what the editing experience looks like in Contentful, let me show you how this page looks in Contentful in the web app. So this is our Contentful web app. And as you can see, are already filtered by the content type for products. So I mentioned earlier content modeling. Content modeling is the process of creating the content types. In this case, you can see we have about a dozen content types. Some of these are topics. These are the assemblies, which traditionally you would call a page. And then you have the actual page, which is an assembly together with a URL. And you have the various components that are made up of an assembly. So let's dig into one of these products. I had the Classic card open, so let's look at Coin Classic. And you can see roughly what this is. So we have a featured image, we have a description, a name, an internal name that's only available to editors. And we have the features list. So let's take a look at one of these features. Generic feature, free account. What does this look like? All right, so a free account is a free IBAN account with a 100,000 deposit insurance guarantee. Then we have a longer description. In this case, it's just slightly longer. And we can immediately scroll down to other features. And so here I can just very quickly change a feature. And I can see there are 6 linked entries here. I can also add a new one. And if I just, collapse these, I can see them all at a glance. I can just deep dive into one of these. And I can see that this feature, free account, is actually a feature on all 3 of our products: Corporate, Classic, and Black. So something changed. we have new regulations. So now our deposit guarantee is actually 200,000 euros. So I can just change this here once, publish this change, and it's going to be up to date for all my products. Now, this is obviously important then to know if this is a change that only applies to one product or to all products. But if it does apply to all products, I only have to change it once, have to change the translation once, and I have it available for everything. Returning to my tab here, also media management. In this case, this is a Contentful asset. It's not using one of our DAM integrations. And I can quickly here see the information on the image. This image is only used in Coin Classic. And I can modify this. So, for example, I might have a square presentation now in mind. Whoops. So square, well, not working so well, but maybe I just want to show the highlight here, what this card looks like. Can do this, upload it. Processing, that means in the backend, our API is now working on getting this image ready to publish. And now I can actually publish my image and I'm live. All of this is how an editor will interact with Contentful. Now, as a developer working on setting up a site, the main feature you will be working with is in the content model editor. Looking into the same content type, this is how we set up the structure. You can see the different types of fields we have, and you can see the names of the fields. If I go into the settings, I can control what options are available. I can set validations, and I can change how the editor is presented. All of this, plus our extensibility options, let me craft a completely custom editing experience for editors to give them all the options they need, but also restrict them from making any changes that would break our style guides. In this way, I can create content that is fit for purpose and I know enough about to be able to transform it into different media to show it in different environments. Now, looking back, oops, I have a square one, and this is new content is available. All right, to finish off, let me summarize. Why Contentful? It's the best platform for builders. It's also the most flexible platform. And it's built with a developer experience in mind. We have the speed, flexibility, extensibility, scalability, and reliability to power any kind of e-commerce platform. And we're hoping we could inspire you a little bit how you can change your approach to content in conjunction with commerce. Last but not least, just want to call out, we have 22,000 sites with Contentful live and 600,000 active users. This is not something brand new anymore. This is the way to do content in the 21st century. With that, thank you, and I'm eager to hear your questions.